Hey everyone, it's Zach with Palantir Research. We've got some more insider selling, at least for the new SEC filing, and a new article specifically using Palantir as an example for wanting forever war from VCs. But still, I'd say this is calm after all of yesterday's big movement downwards and my two-part Palantir daily with tons of news yesterday. But for today, starting with the stock first, Palantir is back down into the $18 range and even tested the 17s briefly this morning. But after that over 9% downward movement, along with broader markets acting the same, the indices today are a little mixed or flat. So more to see how this price action plays out and what the next big move will be and which direction. Now for the insider selling news, we get Stephen Cohen again, and if you remember from yesterday's Part 1 Palantir Daily, he sold 500,000 shares at $20.05 from Friday. Now, this sale took place on that big down day, of course, on Monday, and he sold 156,100 shares for a total value of $3.2 million-ish. So that's an average price of $20.27, which is interesting to me considering the candles didn't touch that yesterday. So I'm thinking that's an estimated price point there. Now, the Form 4 will come out soon to meet regulatory obligations, but if we base it off the November 20th Form 4 statement of beneficial ownership, these are approximately 600,000 shares sold and are probably coming from a conversion of Class B to A, and you can see below the 13.2 million Class B shares left from that point and 6.7 million RSUs. And you'd also note these were automatically for tax withholdings. So do what you want with this information, and also you can just wait for the latest Form 4 when that comes out. And then we get this new article here calling out venture capitalists and questioning especially around the rise in geopolitical tensions if they actually want war and more of it. Now, Palantir gets mentioned specifically a few times in the article. They are actually the easy ones to pick on, and I'll focus on that. But do keep in mind the article isn't focusing on them as a company as a bad actor or anything, but rather the behavior of venture capitalists and how they make money from war, and Palantir as a good example, as well as Anduril, who was founded by ex-Palantir employees. So I think that would be the most interesting for the viewers of Palantir Research. So the first mention was a specific contract that they won for $800 million for the Army, and they grabbed these big headlines even though it's all the way back from 2019, and more to their point before they were public. And that's to show how VCs were vying for this kind of business here. And they also bring up Palantir even though they are public now, and they're standing up for Israel and making a clear message that they will support the country. And even though, if not mentioned specifically, but the recent CNBC interview with Shyam Sankar, he literally said he came from Tel Aviv and working with Israel, as well as Alex Karp's comments at the RNDF pro-Israel retaliatory actions. But I'll leave that up to you if it hurts or helps Palantir's business. Surprisingly, at least to me, they bring up Jacob Hellberg also in his comments. He's done interviews regarding the rising tensions with China and that tech war that's been basically happening with imports and exports, the rhetoric, and much, much more. So essentially, Palantir has been active on the geopolitical front here, being outspoken, and are a good example for this kind of article, showing VC-backed firms, or at least at one point, even though public now, taking such an outward approach, whereas the status quo has been towing the line or even playing both sides here and being active in these conflicts. And they close out the article on some latest financials that hit the point home that I think at least they're saying there's a lot of money at play, that VCs want war and fights because that's where business booms. And so I wouldn't say this is a knock on Palantir. It's just more descriptive on the incentives for VCs around conflicts. And if basically they win more business from it happening, and if not, I'll let you be the judge of that. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next Palantir Daily.